Good evening, everybody. Broadcasting live from the beautiful studios of WICR Iona College Radio and broadcasting live on Slaughter Radio and WICR YouTube Live. This is the Showdown, and I am your host, Austin AJ Stellato. Today is October 24th, 2018, and welcome again to the Showdown, whether you're watching live or watching on replay. Again, as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your evening and spending some of it with me here on the Showdown. As we, typical fall day outside, pretty nice weather. Can't complain too much. Obviously, a little bit more on the chillier side. Was outside actually for about 2 hours straight at the Iona men's soccer game. Didn't broadcast it today. I had class. Couldn't get out of it. And I was walking back because to get to my dorm, I have to walk past the soccer field and Mazzella Field here at Iona College. And, it's a team that has had some really good success and have some playoff dreams. And as the broadcaster for the team, I decided, let me take this in as a fan. I don't know if fan's the right word, but let me take this game in as just a viewer and not just a broadcaster. And they faced off against the Monmouth Hawks, who I believe were winless in conference play coming into this one. And Iona scored in about, I'd say about half an hour, 25 minutes left in the second half. And then actually Monmouth tied it up and went into overtime. And with 40 seconds left in the first overtime, a handball by Monmouth in the box. And then so penalty kick opportunity for the Gales, and Lenworth Lopez netted it through. So now, if I'm not mistaken, Iona now moves to 5-3-1 in conference play, which I believe will have them in fourth place with an opportunity to clinch and host a playoff game. And, that would be very exciting. I think I would be on the call for that, and it'd be really exciting, really interesting to do a playoff game. So we shall see. So that's where I have been. Quickly ran over to the Avenue Deli, one of my favorites off-campus spots to eat here, here at Iona, and picked up some dinner, walked back over, and said, you know what, let's just get this puppy rolling. And here we are with the show. In terms of stuff that's going on right now, obviously less than 2 weeks away to the 2018 midterms. So that's definitely something to keep our eyes on. Last night was the one and only first and last gubernatorial debate here in New York between the incumbent Governor Andrew Cuomo and his Republican challenger Mark Molinaro. So I was able to watch that. I had some takes on that. There's actually there is a video. If you head over to the WICR YouTube page, if you're watching this on Instagram, head over to the YouTube channel for WICR, and I actually have a news update. The reasons for me recording one to remain a little secret for now, but I did offer my take on that debate. It was a very contentious debate. There wasn't much in terms of substantive, there wasn't much in terms of substance, there wasn't much in substantive policy, but I think now we're in this sort of day and age where if that's what you're expecting from your debates, you're just not going to get it. And we didn't last night. As far as, World Series, game one last night went to the Boston Red Sox. 8-4 was the final big pinch hit, 3-run home run by former Yankee Eduardo Nunez. When just cleared the monster, but got the job done in Boston, and they did what they had to do with their ace on the mound. And tonight I believe it's Rue going up against David Price. David Price looking to bounce, to repeat what he did in Game 5 against Houston. Now, whether he will be able to do that or not sure yet. We shall see. But if it's obviously a big game for LA, not a must-win game for LA. But obviously, your job as the road team is to take at least one on the road to start out the series. Let's see if they can do that tonight. My official prediction, tweeted out last night, is Red Sox in 6. And to be honest, obviously, like as a Yankee fan, like that, it does kill me to do that because nobody wants to see their arch rival, win the championship. But in terms of being in terms of being a predictor and stuff of that sort, I have to, go with who I think is actually going to win instead of who I want to win. Because obviously I would like to see the Dodgers win over the Red Sox. I wanted the Dodgers to win last year over the Astros. But if you're asking me who if I had to put money on the line, who am I picking to win this series? It would be the Boston Red Sox. I mean, they're just a better team overall. I mean, I think you've really seen it this playoffs, and we're getting in this age of baseball where it's all about the home run and stuff of that nature. But the Red Sox can just hit you to death. I mean, they just continue to hit, and it's not always home runs. I mean, they put runners on, they move runners over, they hit balls in the gaps. They get base hits, they get doubles. They don't rely on the home run, and that has been very evident in October 2018 for the Boston Red Sox. They've really been playing well. I mean, they steamrolled 2 100-win teams. Again, I don't know if that had ever been done before, if it has ever been done before, and then the team went on to win a World Series championship. But they looked mightily good against the Red Sox and looked even better, against they looked very good against the Astros and looked just as good, if not better, against the Yankees. So that's going on in the world of baseball, which sadly means that the baseball season is coming to a close. To be honest, it feels like just yesterday I was in this very studio recording a podcast with my good friend Ryan Weiss about the over-unders for the 2018 season. I actually, at the end of the conclusion of the World Series, I should bring those back out and let you all know how I did. Again, I was around 15-15. I also released on my Twitter over-unders for the NFL season. I have not looked at those updates at all, but I wouldn't imagine that they're in the best of shape right now, to be completely honest. Obviously, we'll get to the picks and the recaps in the next segment, but that's what's going on in the world of baseball. World Series Game 2 tonight should be a good one. Dodgers looking to take one on the road. If we take, basketball first, it's the first couple of weeks. I can't read too much into anything yet. Same thing with the NHL. But as we know, football is in full swing as we just wrapped up week 7 in the NFL, as well as, I believe, week 7 in the college football season. College football is looking like it's really going to be exciting, and there's going to be a lot of drama about who gets in. And, because you do have this Alabama LSU game, and I think LSU has surprised a lot of people. And because obviously, if you take a look at the schedule, Alabama LSU is going to be a big game every year. It's a big rivalry game, but they're going to be going into those games because they both have bye weeks this week. So you would assume, I believe LSU might be number 4 in the country right now. And if they're not 4, they're 5. I might go with 5 right now. And Alabama, obviously, number 1. So this is going to be a top 5 matchup. I forget where the game is. But, the question will always become if Alabama is a one-loss team that, if they lose against LSU, it would probably, prevent them from playing in the SEC championship game. So it could be very much like last year's is do they put in the Alabama, one-loss team that isn't a conference champion? And, my take is even if they are a one-loss team, given it needs to be a close loss for them to not get in, it would have to be against LSU. It can't be against Auburn because Auburn is a 3-loss team right now. They should. I think that they should be in because if you've watched them play, obviously this is as of right now. If they were a one-loss team, they lost to a ranked opponent right now, and had one loss, I'd still have them in because they are an absolutely electric team. And if you put Alabama on a neutral field against any other team in the nation, you tell me who's favored in that game. Tell me one other team right now that's undefeated, one loss, two losses, whatever. Give me any team that on a neutral field is favored to beat Alabama. Because there's nobody. That was the same one last year. And we saw once they got in, and they got in as the 4 seed, I believe, last year. Believe it was the 4. They might have been the 3rd seed. I forget off the top of my head. But they rolled. I mean, they rolled through Clemson. I mean, that wasn't even... They rolled through Clemson. It wasn't even competitive. I believe the final score was like 24-6. Clemson couldn't score. Now, obviously, the championship game, a lot more close, but that's a championship game. They're going up against a great Georgia defense, but they still won. They still won. They got in, and they rolled through Clemson, and they ended up winning the national championship. So I think if, when in doubt, you put Alabama in because I think they are one of the best teams in the entire country. So it should be very interesting come, end of November. We're just about a month away from this picture starting to look a lot more clearer. Obviously, Notre Dame's still undefeated. Clemson is still undefeated. The thing, though, with Clemson is that whereas I think Alabama has room for one loss, I don't think Clemson can get in with one loss, especially if it's in a conference championship game, because I think that there are so many good one-loss teams at the moment. When you think about it, Ohio State, they're a decent team. They have one loss. Oklahoma, one loss. Texas, one loss. Michigan, one loss. There are a lot of teams with one loss right now that I think are even better than Clemson. I'm not big on Clemson. They're true freshman quarterback. I'm not sold on Clemson at the moment to as a team that could win a national championship. I think they're good enough to get into the playoff, and I think they're good enough to win a game in the playoff. But I do not think that they are a national championship. I don't think they could win a national championship right now. Obviously, that could change. A lot could change. But I think Clemson has a lot less room for error than, say, Bama, and they are ranked 1 and 2 in the nation right now, I believe. Maybe 1 and 3. But yeah, so college football, really exciting going forward. And quickly before we wrap up and head to break, the New York Giants, again, just absolutely stunk on Monday night. Yeah, the score was 23-20, but let's be honest, they couldn't really do anything in that game. They're sitting at 1-6 right now. They trade away Eli Apple. They traded away Snacks Harrison. Total rebuild. Back up the truck because it's going to be a long offseason, and pretty much the offseason has already started because they're trading guys away. So I don't know if I'll have as big of a rant as I did last week. That kind of just came upon me. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Stick around to find out. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. Back after this.